Okay, even I will admit that I don't resort to using paper maps anymore. It's GPS or nothing. It's GPS or I am utterly lost. On a temperate Tuesday, we took a 12-hour bus ride that included Stonehenge and Bath.
Just check with us, and we're going to start boarding at 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Trust me when I say that we, as premium tours, we need our beauty sleep, so we'll try and help him out. Now, something else that we could do to help Ricardo out is, by law, he can only drive a certain number of hours in the day. And if we run out of driving hours, we run out of him. And it's pretty rubbish when that happens. We have to pull over on the side of the road, wait for some other driver to pick us up, and they're never going to be as nice as this man. Therefore, at each stop, I will give you a time to be back at the coach. Please be aware that that time is the time the coach is leaving.
Our tour guide, Rowan, kept us entertained with fun facts stated cleverly.
Pull next to the rocks. The most common thing anyone ever says is it was smaller. That is the front door. That is the one that is important for the summer solstice. And then on the left side of the circle, very tall stone with a little knob.
As you can see, the bus went past Stonehenge and continued for about a mile before turning right and then coming around to a parking lot. We got out of the bus and walked through the visitor center to another bus stop, this one a shuttle, taking all of us about another mile to the Stonehenge site itself. The whole process was pretty seamless. Although it was a busy day at Stonehenge, we didn't have to wait long at all for the shuttle bus. Well known throughout the world, this UNESCO World Heritage Site was begun about 5,000 years ago and completed perhaps 1,500 years later. It consists of a number of outer rocks that weigh up to 25 tons apiece that came from about 20 miles away, and inner bluestone rocks, which are somewhat smaller, that came from as far as 150 miles away in Wales. The monument is aligned with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. Okay, I'm going to put on my curmudgeon hat for what I'm going to say next. The Stonehenge monument is surrounded by a path along which are various photo challenges so people can be photographed or videotaped performing stunts that make them look like they are holding up or jumping over the stones. I found that to be a bit distasteful. I'm This is a site that is ancient, that is awesome in its appearance and its function from all those many, many centuries ago. I'm not suggesting that anyone who goes there should fall into some sort of deep philosophical trance as they gaze for many, many minutes at these rocks. But I am suggesting that it is worthy of a little bit more respect than one might give things at Disneyland or other tourist sites where the fact that you are there and can check it off your bucket list or post it on your social media site seems to be of primary, if not exclusive, importance. And what you're seeing is just another item on the list. Oh, and of course, here's the gift shop. Got to have one of those.
Going along the very southern edge of the Cotswolds, declared an area of outstanding natural beauty, it is our largest national landscape, protected landscape here in the UK. Now, this little village is Shrewton, and when we turn the corner to the left, if you look on the pavement to the left, you'll see a round stone building. This is the old lockup. So before we had a police force, if you got a bit drunk and annoyed everybody in town, you'd be locked in this stone building, just here on the left-hand side, to think about what you'd done. In the morning, you'd wake up stone cold sober. That's where the phrase comes from. You'd be sober on the cold stone floor. There you go. But you then got to know that when the Saxons invaded, they discovered the thermal waters and they used them to have a bath. That is where we get the modern name for the city. And incidentally, if you want to be historically accurate, it is Bath. You will hear very well-spoken people call it Bath. That's not historically accurate. We changed the pronunciation when we had our first Georgian king. He had a speech impediment, which meant he could not make the A sound. So as not to embarrass the king, the aristocracy changed the pronunciation of words that the king couldn't say, such as bath, to things the king could say, such as bath. It's where we get the idea of King's English from. But if you do want to be historically accurate, Bath. It's much more satisfying if you say it like that.
This road is York Street. So basically, so long as you find Bath Abbey, head down the right-hand side of it, you are straight back to the coach. There's also a really good hot chocolate shop here, Mrs. Potts, and a wonderful bookshop down there as well, toppings. And then this...
You my favorite for a long time.
The Roman baths are the biggest tourist attraction in Bath. Admission was included in our bus tour. These baths were made by the Romans, the conquering Romans, somewhere around the 2nd century, and this site was active as a place of gathering for the locals for approximately 250 to 300 years. What visitors see there today is not exclusively original, of course. Many things have been rebuilt or somehow fortified to allow for all the tourists who walk through there. Some of the interior exhibits are complemented, or I should say augmented, with projections, and even this room had some interesting holograms. We spent about an hour and a half walking around inside the Roman baths, which were pretty crowded on the day we were there, but we also were told that it gets a lot more crowded at other times of year. We were there the week before Easter, so there were quite a few visiting Europeans and Americans. At least it sounded like that from the conversations I overheard. The rest of Bath is exceptionally charming and definitely worth exploring as much as you can.
Wonderful.
After concluding our visit to Bath at about 4:30 in the afternoon, we reboarded the bus, and it took about 3 hours to get there, from there rather, all the way back to London. The trip itself cost about $180 a piece. Well worth it if you are at all interested, as was I, in avoiding driving in England. Anyway, hardly recommend the trip. Hope you have a chance to go someday.
Keep looking the whole way across the road. Do not trust London drivers, except for Ricardo. And yeah, they're absolute bonkers, to be honest with you. That's all. That's all. One more time to get to the tube station. Go forward from the coach, cross the traffic lights, down that street on the right where the blue, white and red shop is. That will take you down to Gloucester Road tube station. Any other questions, please do grab us on the way past. But folks, have an amazing rest of holiday. This is Gloucester Road.